Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. Located on the very scenic route of Russellville Road here in Colorado. And we're talking about Russell Wilson. It's the talk of the town again. The big kahuna, the big fucking ball and chain, the big albatross, which is Russell Wilson's contract. Why don't you go ahead, give the details so we can get that out of the way. Also,
okay.
When you do this, make it where we can understand how this is such a win-win as far as we'll have all this money to spend.
Okay, so I'm going to read the contract off. I am using sparktrack.com. That's the source I'm using it. Okay, so current contract. So here are the details. Russell Wilson signed a 5-year, $245 million contract with the Denver Broncos. So that's an extension. It goes on for 7 years. I'm going to elaborate on that, including a $50 million sign-on bonus, $161 million guaranteed, and an average annual salary per year of $49 million. Wilson will earn a base salary of $2 million, a signing bonus of $50 million, and a roster bonus of $5 million, while carrying a cap hit of $17 million and a dead cap value at $124 million.
We got all this cash. Come on, players. Come on. You just sign. We'll sign everybody up.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I know.
Good
I know.
Lord. So is that the long and the short of it?
Hey guys, your boy Stink.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We'll get into Stink in a minute. One thing I want to say about the contract, I want to get this out of the way. There is no, as far as we know, there is no trade clause. This contract, as far as we can tell, has no trade clause.
Correct.
Theoretically, if things don't work out, Russell Wilson could go to where he really wants to go, what we believe he really wants to go, what he said he really wanted to go before the Broncos was the New York Giants. But the New York Giants are putting a hell of a team together with really working on that offensive line. And if that benefits Daniel Jones and he starts lighting it up at his age, why would you take on an aging quarterback? Now, we're going to get into Mark Schlereth. There's this idea that Seahawk fans are only saying one certain thing. And that may be true. Maybe some people are saying one certain, but they're also not telling you the other things that they're saying that's hitting a little closer to reality. When I did my film review on Russell Wilson, I mentioned the surgery. Why don't you go ahead and play a little bit of that, Mark? We got 2 camps forming, I guess. Something I brought up. Got the camps forming.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, your boy Stank here, and I decided to call this emergency meeting to address some of the slander I'm hearing about Russell Wilson. All right, so he's a little bit cheesy. Who gives a the guy can still play. One of the things I consistently am hearing is clearly he's declining. Really, he's declining. I mean,
Okay.
He was injured last year.
Okay. Now, let's just be honest. He really isn't the same guy he was, when he was lighting up the league. But does it mean he can't play? No. And we are not in the Russell Wilson can't play camp, but we're not going to bullshit here. He's not the same. And in some ways, that's probably even better. I believe he's a better pocket quarterback than he was in his earlier career. What do you think about that?
I completely agree with you. He has crafted his game around getting better in that department in terms of being a pure pocket passer.
Now, I brought up the hand surgery because nobody even spoke. The Broncos didn't even dare speak about it when they were acquiring him. And we discovered watching film, and I was actually amazed that he came back from that surgery as soon as he did. So And I said that too in the film. But why don't you go ahead and keep playing? You may want to turn it up just a little bit and play Mark Schlereth because there's a point that he makes that's total bullshit. But go ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
You guys are the same people that have been trying to write the Tom Brady obituary for the last 12 years, and he just keeps shoving it right up your can.
Okay.
Here's the other thing.
Okay. He says those people are the same people that write Tom Brady's obituary. Well, let's just clear this up. Tom Brady didn't go to the Denver Broncos. He never would. We would have written his obituary. Number one, he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mark, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Denver Broncos, two diametrically different teams. One with Super Bowl contending players on it, one without those Super Bowl contending players. That's the issue. That's the issue we have. And I think this is a good springboard into where we're going. Today, the Broncos are selling this idea. And you know what they're really doing is they're doing what we're doing. Me and you, before even Russell Wilson got here, got ahead of the narrative. Me and you got ahead of the narrative by saying this team is not a quarterback away. This team, disclaimer, this team is not a quarterback away. It is not a quarterback away. Right? Did we say this is not a team that's a quarterback away? Was that where we stood?
Yeah, correct.
Now that they've signed Russell Wilson, oddly enough, without saying we're not really a quarterback away, they are saying we're not a quarterback away. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And why is that? What are they saying here at Dove Valley?
What they're saying right now is we're going to bring in all these assets. We're going to bring in, everybody's going to come to Denver, because this Russell Wilson deal is cheap.
They all said building too. They use the word building. Okay, can I tell you? Can we just pump the brakes here? When they were going after Stafford and even Brady, really back then, and when they were going after all these castaways, and when they went after Wilson, wasn't the drum, that wasn't the narrative over and over and over and over and over. We're just a quarterback away. We're set. We're totally set.
Yep.
Fifth best, right? Everything's fifth best, right? We're totally set. It seems to me, though, it's about face March. About face March. Oh, well, and I think they're trying to get ahead of it. They know they're not Mark Schlereth. They know they're not Tampa Bay. They know that. And the only thing going for them really is, though Elway set this mess up, and they really don't have the money they say they have. You don't have Elway, I guess, tap, 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 tap anymore. I guess that's going for you. But you were explaining that Russell Wilson and we were talking about Russell Wilson not being able to bring players in while he was in Seattle. And you said something about his old contract was hampering a lot of that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I will elaborate on that. When Russell Wilson signed his last contract with Seattle, it was one of the highest paid contracts to be ever paid out to a quarterback in NFL history. And once that happened, the team started going this way, this way, this way. And it was the 53-man roster. Okay. Pete Carroll is a defensive minded coach, and we all know that. And he wasn't able to get the defensive players that he really wanted to covet to rebuild the Legion of Boom defense. And
all of it, Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
but for different reasons.
Yeah, for diametrically different reasons. But Pete Carroll is getting a lot of crap right now. I guarantee you, he's very, very happy because he's going to be able to accumulate players that he's been wanting to get for years and years and years. Because under that guaranteed contract with Russell Wilson, and when they signed him to that contract, he wasn't able to get the players that he wanted, and that is a direct correlation to the old Russell Wilson contract.
Now, I think me and you are getting ahead of what's coming, just like the Broncos are trying to get it because they know what's coming. They know exactly what's coming.
Yeah.
I just want to say this. I think you're going to see two schools when this is over with. We were talking two camps. Try these two camps out. There's going to be the Bills camp of how to, in today's NFL with Disney princess quarterbacks, how to build a team. And there's going to be this other camp called the Denver Broncos on how putting the cart in front of the horse you screwed. Because you never really had anything to begin with. Now you're really screwed. Like I said, you went and gave away everything just to get the guy. Then you sign this contract. Then damage control time. Oh, it's a great contract. We're going to have all this money.
Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze. Oh, you gotta love it. You got to love it. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Mr. Freeze on steroids.
Am I frozen too?
You were frozen.
Oh, you're still frozen. You've been frozen for quite a while.
Go ahead.
So we have two camps. We have the Bills way of doing it, young quarterback after building it around, another young quarterback really, and then knowing who you are, knowing your scouting department that can draft into who you are, and player development, so you're deep in depth. That's diametrically opposite with the Denver Broncos. Band-aids, has-beens, used-to-be's, Tampa Bay from the 70s all over again. So I think you're going to see. I just think that like we're saying, the Broncos are going to learn the hard way.
I completely agree with that.
And it's not about edges.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. You're just not coming in. Am I frozen?
No, you're working just fine.
Okay, there you go. Let's try to pop yourself back in. Now you're there.
Okay. Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze
he did
made
that
an
on purpose,
appearance.
everybody.
Yeah.
He did that on purpose. So anyway, what do you have to say about the two camps I brought up?
Well, you're completely right on the money with that. I believe with what Mark Schlereth is coming out with, and we have two different camps. You're absolutely correct with that. You're going to have the way of building an NFL franchise, and you're going to have the blueprint of how not to build an NFL franchise, the John Elway of running
John Elway,
organizations.
yeah.
Correct.
He was an okay GM. He was okay. I got a comment that said, I want this guy to define what is okay. What do you mean okay? What is that shit?
Yeah.
That's another dumbass comment coming in from the peanut gallery. So anyway, yeah, I just couldn't get over the fact that Dove Valley was just sitting there. I mean, you talk about it never ends. The bullshit just never ends over there. And I'm sure the script writers are out there. We're that player away. Don't worry, it's just that other player away. Chubb's got to go, so we got to move this guy over here. He's out of position, but no, it's the greatest thing ever. This team is so. I think they're screwed. I think this team is just.
Go ahead.
I didn't know Russell Wilson what the hell he was thinking signing that 2-year signing the contract. But I'm just, I want to say it. It's not said. There's no trade clause in there. I find that very interesting myself. I know you don't look much into it, but I say that, man. I think that's the parachute that Wilson. I think that was the parachute he asked for. He said, "Look, the only way I'm going to sign is that I'm not going to sign anything with a no trade clause in it, because I mean, he's got to know the player personnel that's around him."
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if this is what nobody's talking about either. I mean, he's the guy that wanted to be traded. And he did. It isn't that he wanted to be traded to Denver. It's just where he ended up.
Yeah.
So in a couple years, it would not surprise me if he said, I want to be traded, and Peyton's out the door, Hackett's they're all gone. I just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of it. Just getting ahead of it.
Like we always do.
I know. And this is the thing. This video is definitely not for the fans of 2022 at this moment.
Stop
Five
talking.
seasons from now, 5 seasons from now, this is going to be kind of like a time capsule. People are going to come back and look and like, wow, these guys saw it, man. These guys saw it.
I agree.
It's for those in the future.